Remembering Terry Reid, the rock legend who turned down Led Zeppelin. The legendary voice that said no to rock history. Terry Reid dies at 75. Iconic British vocalist Terry Reid, famously known for declining invitations to front both Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple, has died at the age of 75. The Guardian received confirmation of Reid's passing from his UK representative on Tuesday, August 5th. This devastating announcement comes after Reid's difficult struggle with cancer. Though specific details about his cause of death remain undisclosed, known for his soulful hit, Seed of Memory, Reid had recently been forced to cancel his upcoming performance schedule as his health deteriorated. An official statement on his Instagram account from July 2nd explained, Terry must postpone his autumn 2025 tour across the UK, Ireland, and Norway, due to medical complications arising from his recent cancer treatment. This is particularly heartbreaking for Terry, as his 2024 performances were tremendously successful. He had been eagerly anticipating playing both familiar venues and new locations, including his first ever Norwegian concerts. The post continued with hope for the future. We're all wishing Terry a quick return to health, and will announce rescheduled 2026 dates when appropriate. But here's where the situation becomes truly heartbreaking. A GoFundMe campaign launched last month revealed the extent of Reid's private battle. Terry has been silently and courageously fighting cancer, alongside numerous serious health complications for several months. His struggle, while dignified, has created enormous personal hardship. Between frequent hospitalizations, ongoing treatments, and overwhelming uncertainty, he recently had no choice but to cancel his eagerly anticipated 6-week tour. The financial burden has become unsustainable as medical expenses continue accumulating daily. The campaign organizers added poignantly, Terry would never request assistance himself, which is precisely why we're stepping in on his behalf. Reid's remarkable journey began in Cambridgeshire, England, where he first gained recognition as a teenage frontman for Peter J. and the Jaywalkers. His extraordinary talent caught wider attention when, at just 16 years old, he supported the Rolling Stones on tour in the mid-1960s. And this is the part most people miss. This early exposure led to one of rock music's most fascinating what-if moments. Jimmy Page, still performing with the Yardbirds at the time, approached Reid about joining what would eventually become Led Zeppelin. In a revealing 2024 interview with Classic Rock magazine, Reid explained the dilemma. I had a close friendship with Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones. Keith had invited me to support them in America, but then Jimmy approached me about joining his new project. I was genuinely torn between these opportunities. I ultimately left the decision with Jimmy, Reid continued. I told him, you need to speak with Terry Reid, the legend who turned down Led Zeppelin Deep Purple, a rock icon remembered. Terry Reid, the iconic British vocalist renowned for his extraordinary and soulful voice, affectionately dubbed Superlungs, has passed away at the age of 75 after a courageous battle with cancer, as reported by The Guardian. Reid was famously approached to join legendary rock bands Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple, but he chose to pursue his own path instead. In the vibrant music scene of the 1960s and 70s, Reid was highly regarded by rock legends, with Jimmy Page considering him the ideal candidate for Led Zeppelin's frontman when the band was formed in 1968. However, Reid turned down this prestigious offer, even going so far as to recommend Robert Plant, who would later achieve immense fame in that role. He also declined an invitation to join Deep Purple, opting instead to focus on a solo career that, while critically acclaimed, did not achieve significant commercial success. Despite this, Reid's music has been embraced by a wide array of artists over the years, with his songs being covered by notable musicians such as Marianne Faithfull, Cheap Trick, Chris Cornell, and Jack White's Raconteurs. Aretha Franklin once remarked during her visit to the UK in 1968, "There are only 3 things happening in England: the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and Terry Reid. In a heartfelt tribute shared on social media shortly after Reid's passing, Robert Plant reminisced about their youthful days, stating, "Terry Reid's enthusiasm and encouragement were incredible back then. As teenagers, we would crash each other's gigs and repeatedly perform Donovan's Season of the Witch. It was so much fun. He was full of charisma, and his voice and range captured the essence of that carefree era. Superlungs indeed. He propelled me into a vibrant new world that he chose to decline. Listening to his album The River now brings tears to my eyes for my brother in arms." The question of whether Reid would have reached similar heights of fame had he accepted those offers remains unanswered, but it's clear that he had ample opportunities for stardom. Born in Cambridgeshire in 1949, Reid began his musical journey with bands like the Redbeats and Peter J. and the Jaywalkers during his teenage years. By the age of 16, he was already supporting the Rolling Stones on their iconic 1966 British tour, alongside Ike, Tina Turner, and the Yardbirds, which featured a brief lineup with Page and Jeff Beck. Reid embarked on a solo career and toured the United States with the Stones in 1969, which he cited as his reason for declining Page's invitation to join Led Zeppelin. He also recommended both Plant and drummer John Bonham, whom he had known from their earlier collaboration in the Band of Joy. "I was determined to carve my own path," Reid shared with The Guardian in 2024. "I contributed half the band. That was enough for me." In 1969, he also turned down an offer from guitarist Ritchie Blackmore to become Deep Purple's lead singer, a position that ultimately went to Ian Gillan, who would also lead the band to great success. Reid entered into a management and label agreement with Mickey Most, a prominent figure who managed hits for artists like Donovan, Lulu, and Herman's Hermits during the 1960s. His debut album, Bang Bang, You're Terry Reid, featured the frequently covered track, Without Expression, while its self-titled follow-up in 1969, often considered his finest work, included the song Speak Now or Forever Hold Your Peace, which was later covered by Cheap Trick on their debut album in 1977. Despite touring with renowned bands such as Cream, Fleetwood Mac, and Jethro Tull, mainstream success eluded him, leading to a split with Most and a subsequent contractual dispute that hindered his career for several years. Reid made a comeback in 1973 with the album River and moved to California, but his solo career faced stagnation as he collaborated with artists like Bonnie Raitt, Don Henley, and Jackson Browne. He even jammed with the Replacements in 1990 during the sessions for their final album, All Shook Down. The following year, the esteemed producer Trevor Horn attempted to revive Reid's career with the album The Driver. But it did not achieve commercial success. In a surprising turn, Reid later worked with the renowned producer Dr. Dre, who expressed fascination with Reid's album Seed of Memory and invited him to his studio to rework it alongside his rap collaborators, an experience Reid described as fascinating. In recent years, Reid continued to perform, often collaborating with the Los Angeles collective Wild Honey. And he was preparing for his most significant UK tour in decades next month. Unfortunately, his health deteriorated in the weeks leading up to his passing. He is survived by his wife, Annette. What do you think about the choices Reid made in his career? Would he have achieved greater fame had he accepted those offers? Share your thoughts in the comments. Terry Reid, the artist's artist who almost joined Led Zeppelin, dies at 75. Legacy music. Imagine being on the cusp of rock history, only to step aside and let others take the spotlight. That was Terry Reid, a musician who could have been the voice of Led Zeppelin, but chose a different path. Reid, known affectionately as Superlungs, passed away at the age of 75, leaving behind a legacy that, while not mainstream, was deeply admired by legends like Mick Jagger and Aretha Franklin. Terry Reid was more than just a musician. He was an artist's artist, someone whose talent was recognized and celebrated by his peers. His powerful, soulful voice earned him the nickname Superlungs, a testament to his vocal prowess. Between 1968 and 1978, Reid released 5 albums that, while not commercial hits, became cult favorites among music enthusiasts and critics alike. But here's where it gets controversial. Reid could have been the frontman of one of the most iconic rock bands in history. In 1968, Jimmy Page of the Yardbirds approached Reid with an offer to join his new band, which would later become Led Zeppelin. Reid declined, suggesting Page check out Robert Plant and John Bonham instead. This decision has sparked endless debates among fans and critics. Was it a missed opportunity, or a testament to Reid's unwavering commitment to his own artistic vision? Reid's decision to decline Page's offer wasn't an isolated incident. He also turned down an offer to front Deep Purple, preferring to focus on his solo career. This independent spirit is evident in his music, which blends blues, rock, and other influences into a unique sound. His 1973 album, River, is a standout example, mixing progressive folk with elements of R&B, funk, pop, and samba. Though it struggled to gain traction upon its release, River has since become a beloved cult classic. Reid's impact extends beyond his own recordings. His songs have been covered by numerous artists, including the Hollies, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and John Mellencamp. Graham Nash, who produced Reid's album Seed of Memory, paid tribute to his friend, highlighting Reid's incredible talent and charisma. Born and raised in Cambridgeshire, England, Reid started his musical journey as a teenager. His first big break came in 1965 when his band, the Redbeats, opened for Peter J. and the Jaywalkers. This led to gigs alongside legendary acts like the Rolling Stones and Ike and Tina Turner. By 1967, Reid was embarking on a solo career, encouraged by none other than Jimi Hendrix. And this is the part most people miss. Reid's influence isn't just limited to the rock world. His music has been sampled and covered by artists across genres, from DJ Shadow to Alabama 3. Even Dr. Dre was a fan, inviting Reid to rework his album Seed of Memory with his rappers. Though these sessions haven't been released, they highlight Reid's versatility and enduring appeal. Reid's passing leaves a void in the music world, but his legacy lives on. He was a musician who never chased fame or fortune, but was driven by a pure love for music. As we remember Terry Reid, let's celebrate his unique contributions and the indelible mark he left on the music industry. So, what do you think? Was Reid's decision to decline Led Zeppelin a missed opportunity, or a bold statement of artistic integrity? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and honor the memory of this remarkable artist.